Okay, let's unpack this. We are diving into something today that is, well, it's absolutely foundational to how you feel every single day. The simple, quiet power of the food you choose. For you, our listener, the mission here is to really cut through all the noise.
All the fads, yeah.
Exactly. The complex diets, the nutritional fads, and just focus on 10 essential, everyday foods that silently but profoundly boost your life.
Right.
We're talking about natural energy, sharper focus, better mood, and just that general feeling of, vitality.
That's it.
Yeah.
And our mission for this deep dive is to be the ultimate shortcut. We've synthesized a curated stack of source material that's focused purely on practicality.
No exotic ingredients here.
None. These are common staples you can integrate immediately. The whole goal is to provide you with the specific functional knowledge about why these foods work, not just that they do work.
And our sources have given us this really practical roadmap connecting the foundational chemistry to your daily performance.
Yeah.
This isn't about some strict diet. It's about taking these common staples. We're talking eggs, oats, apples, and understanding the specific biochemical benefits they deliver.
So you can feel consistently optimized.
Exactly. We want you to walk away from this deep dive really being well-informed on the how behind all the health benefits.
And we've structured this whole dive not just as a simple countdown from 10 to 1.
Right.
We're grouping them by the specific functional benefits these foods provide, so you can tailor your choices to your needs.
That's smart.
We'll group them into 4 distinct categories. First, you've got the foundational fuels for steady, reliable energy.
The basics.
The basics. Second, the internal cleansers that support your gut and immune health. Third, the targeted boosters for cognition and emotional balance. And then finally, a capstone food that combines comfort with lasting endurance.
The ultimate goal here, as always, is practicality for you. The key takeaway right from the start is that the most powerful changes come from small, repeated choices.
Made daily.
Made daily. Consistency. Even if you just integrate 1 or 2 of these foods, that's what leads to the big long-term shifts in your health and your overall vitality.
Couldn't agree more.
So let's jump in. Let's start with the staples, the foods that provide that critical foundational fuel for your daily grind.
So when we talk about foundational fuel, we're really discussing foods that are, they're engineered by nature to provide sustained energy.
Right.
They keep you satisfied, and they ensure your metabolic system runs smoothly without all those dramatic peaks and troughs.
The dreaded sugar crash.
The sugar crash. I mean, if you start your day with unstable fuel, you spend the rest of the day just reacting to those crashes, right?
You're always playing catch up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So these first 3 foods are all about setting the foundation for metabolic stability.
I really appreciate that the source material leads with eggs. I mean, they're so accessible, they're affordable, and they're incredibly nutrient dense.
A powerhouse.
A total powerhouse. The sources specifically highlight that they're packed with protein, healthy fats, and important vitamins. But let's get into the mechanics. What is it about that specific ratio of protein and fat that makes them such an efficient starting fuel?
Well, what's fascinating here is the synergy of the macronutrients. So the structure they create in the digestive process.
Okay.
Protein and fat are digested, significantly slower than simple carbohydrates.
Much slower.
And when you eat them together, they act like a speed bump for the entire digestive tract. This is the mechanism behind those claims of satiety and stability.
So if I start my day with eggs, I'm not just full, I'm fundamentally altering the timeline of my energy absorption.
That's a great way to put it.
I'm basically buying myself hours of stable energy, and that translates directly to preventing those immediate, desperate hunger pangs that, they usually strike an hour or 2 after eating something like a sugary cereal.
Or just a piece of toast with nothing on it.
Exactly. No fat, no protein.
Exactly. And what we see is this slowing of the glucose release into the bloodstream.
Mm-hmm.
And that stability, that's the secret sauce for what the source calls cognitive clarity.
Ah, okay, so the brain benefits.
Yes. The claim is that eggs help you think more clearly. And this isn't just a subjective feeling, it's pure biochemistry. And it's related to your prefrontal cortex.
Let's unpack that biochemistry a bit more then. How does stable energy translate specifically to clear thought?
Okay, so your brain, particularly the prefrontal cortex, that's the area responsible for all your executive functions, like planning, decision-making, sustained attention.
It's important stuff.
The very important stuff. It relies almost entirely on glucose for fuel. So if you eat a high-sugar breakfast, you get this massive glucose spike.
The rush.
The rush. And then the body overreacts with insulin, which leads to a rapid drop or hypoglycemia. During that drop, the brain is effectively starved of fuel.
And that's the mental fog.
That is the dreaded mental fog, the irritability, the difficulty concentrating. Eggs prevent this volatility. They provide a continuous, even-keeled supply of glucose that's derived slowly from their protein and fat content.
So it's a slow drip, not a fire hose.
Perfect analogy. And this sustained delivery ensures your executive function centers stay fully fueled and operational for hours.
That sustained focus is, it's invaluable, especially for our listener profile. If you have a demanding morning of meetings or high-stakes decision-making or, a complex project to tackle, you need that consistent mental bandwidth.
A steady fuel source eliminates all those metabolic distractions.
It just takes it off the table.
It does. And on top of that, the egg yolk contains choline. Choline is a precursor for the neurotransmitter acetylcholine.
Acetylcholine, what does that do?
It's critical for memory and for muscle control. So by supplying choline, eggs are literally providing the raw material for efficient nerve communication. That structural support elevates them far beyond just being a source of calories.
But there's a common concern, and I think we have to address it. Cholesterol.
Ah, yes.
Is there a risk associated with the fat content for some listeners, especially if they're planning to integrate eggs daily?
That's a critical question. And it really speaks to some old dietary advice.
The stuff we all grew up with.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Current research largely shows that for the vast majority of the population, dietary cholesterol, like what's found in eggs, does not significantly raise blood cholesterol levels.
So the body just adjusts.
The body regulates its own cholesterol production, yes. The risk factor that truly impacts cardiovascular health is more often associated with a high intake of saturated trans fats and, excess sugar.
Which aren't the primary components of an egg.
Not at all. So unless you've been advised otherwise by a doctor due to specific genetic factors, the nutritional benefits of the whole egg, especially the vitamins D and B12, they far outweigh that outdated concern.
That's really important context. So it sounds like eggs are the definition of an efficient, simple, and biologically complete energy delivery system. They're often called a complete protein. What does that mean for the listener?
A complete protein just means it contains all 9 essential amino acids that the human body can't produce on its own.
So you have to get them from food.
You have to. And this is crucial because these amino acids are the building blocks for every single tissue, enzyme, and hormone in your body. When you consume a complete protein like eggs, your body doesn't have to work to combine different incomplete sources. It immediately has all the components it needs for repair and growth.
So that foundational support is what contributes to feeling strong and vital.
That's it.
Simple, affordable, powerful, and now we understand the chemistry behind the stability and clarity they provide. A true foundational staple. Okay, so moving from proteins and fats, we turn to complex carbohydrates, but specifically the kind that behaves like a slow-release battery, oats. The source describes them as slow, steady fuel, and that immediately signals their functional advantage over quick-burn carbs.
And the functional advantage of oats is entirely due to one component, fiber, specifically soluble fiber.
Right. The sources implied that, but it's good to name it.
We have to name it. Soluble fiber dissolves in water to form this thick, viscous, gel-like substance in your stomach and small intestine.
I like that analogy, a thick, gel-like substance. It sounds like an internal net or something. So how does that net affect energy delivery?
It creates a physical barrier. And that barrier drastically slows down how fast the digestive enzymes can access the starches, which means the conversion of carbohydrates into glucose gets stretched out over several hours.
And that's how oats achieve what the source calls calm energy versus sudden crashes.
That's the mechanism.
Yeah.
They have a low glycemic index, which just means they cause a much gentler, sustained rise in blood sugar compared to, say, a high glycemic food like white rice or a processed breakfast cereal.
This concept of calm energy is, well, it's paramount for high-level cognitive function and mood stability. If I'm avoiding that dramatic blood sugar spike, what am I also preventing in terms of my stress response?
You are eliminating the physiological distress signal. That's a great question. A rapid blood sugar crash triggers the release of stress hormones.
Like cortisol.
Cortisol and adrenaline, yes. And even if the crash isn't traumatic enough to cause, severe physical symptoms, that low-level hormonal fluctuation contributes directly to psychological states like anxiety, difficulty concentrating, and mood swings.
So by keeping blood sugar stable, oats are actively reducing metabolic stress.
They are, and that allows for genuine calm energy.
This stabilizing effect directly supports sustained focus. So if you know you need to be locked in for a marathon work session or a complex presentation or a long day of studying,
Right.
opting for plain oats in the morning is a deeply strategic dietary choice. It's a proactive step to actively manage your body's energy output and, eliminate that metabolic interference.
Precisely. And the functional benefits are really twofold. First, digestion. The fiber acts like an internal scrubbing brush, ensuring efficient transit time and gut health.
And second?
Second, blood sugar stability. By controlling the rate of glucose absorption, they manage hunger better than almost any other carbohydrate source. The physical presence of the fiber and the delayed energy release combine to provide phenomenal satiety.
So you feel full and fueled for hours.
Hours.
So if you have to choose between, say, a highly sweetened breakfast bar and a bowl of whole rolled oats with a little fruit, the choice is clear. At least if sustained, interruption-free focus is the goal.
No question.
But how should you optimize your oats? I mean, should you avoid the instant varieties?
Yeah.
And why?
That is an excellent point about optimization, because while all oats contain soluble fiber, the way they're processed matters greatly.
Yeah.
Instant or quick oats are often rolled thinner and they're partially cooked. This increases their surface area, and it reduces the time it takes for enzymes to access the starch.
So it speeds up the digestion you were trying to slow down.
Exactly. It increases the glycemic index compared to steel-cut or rolled oats. So for maximum stability and the longest, slowest burn, the less processed the oat, the better.
So always go for the whole minimally processed versions.
Always. That small difference in texture means a big difference in your metabolic outcome.
So that little decision about preparation has a huge impact on the functional benefit. Oats are just the definition of a smart, reliable carbohydrate source designed for the long haul. Okay, now we shift gears slightly. Eggs and oats are foundational slow burners. Bananas, however, are highlighted as nature's energy bar,
Right.
which suggests a faster, more immediate energy source. While they provide quick, natural energy, the source immediately points to a vital mineral that elevates them beyond just a sugar boost: potassium.
This is a perfect example of a food offering a dual benefit. You get the immediate fuel plus crucial infrastructure support.
Infrastructure support, I like that.
Yeah. Potassium is an electrolyte, and it's essential for maintaining fluid balance and transmitting nerve signals, particularly for muscle contraction. This is done through what we call the sodium-potassium pump.
Okay, sodium-potassium pump. That sounds a little technical. Let's make the function of an electrolyte practical for the listener. How does a fluid imbalance or a lack of optimal potassium actually feel in the body?
It feels like fatigue, sluggishness, muscle weakness, and critically, inefficiency.
Inefficiency.
Yeah. Electrolytes are like the tiny electrical sparks that allow your cells to function. If your potassium levels are too low, the communication between your nerves and muscles gets sluggish.
So things just aren't firing correctly.
Not optimally, no.
Yeah.
Your heart, which is a muscle, doesn't contract as well. Your skeletal muscles fatigue faster. You might experience the classic signs like muscle cramps or just low energy, even if your caloric intake is totally fine.
This link between potassium and overall physical functionality is huge. We often think of energy purely in terms of calories, right? But if the underlying systems, the muscles and the heart, aren't firing efficiently because of an electrolyte imbalance, your overall vitality suffers regardless of how much sugar you consume.
That is exactly right. The banana provides quick carbohydrate energy, primarily in the form of natural sugars, fructose, glucose, sucrose, which gives you that immediate lift.
But it's the potassium.
It's the potassium that's the infrastructure. It ensures that energy is utilized effectively by the body. The quick fuel is used optimally because the electrochemical pathways are supported.
The source also speaks to timing, positioning the banana as perfect for mornings or when you feel tired. It implies they offer a rapid yet natural pick-me-up without the metabolic whiplash of, pure refined sugar.
And that smoothness comes from the balance of sugar and fiber. While the sugars are readily available, the fiber in the banana helps moderate the speed of that release slightly, at least compared to pure juice or candy.
And they're easy on the stomach.
Incredibly easy. And that digestive angle is important. Bananas require minimal effort from the gut to process, which means the body doesn't have to divert excessive resources to digestion.
So the energy can get to where it's needed faster.
Exactly. The energy is transferred efficiently and immediately where it's needed, be it your muscles or your brain.
So if you're hitting that 3 p.m. slump, when the body is naturally dipping in energy, grabbing a banana is a fast way to refresh the system, both physically and mentally.
Yes.
It leverages both the quick fuel and the functional support of the potassium to restore that balance.
It's the practical, portable intervention that keeps the day moving without major metabolic disruption. And that wraps up our foundational fuels, foods that ensure stable energy delivery, either slow and steady like oats or quick and supported like bananas.
So if the first section was all about optimizing fuel efficiency for the engine, this second section is more about internal maintenance and support.
The lubrication and cleaning system.
Exactly. We're diving into foods that keep the digestive tract and our internal systems running smoothly.
And this is perhaps the most rapidly evolving area of nutritional science. The state of our internal environment, particularly the gut microbiome.
It's huge right now.
It is now understood to be profoundly influential on nearly every other system in the body. It links digestion to immunity and even to your mood. We are moving beyond just digestion and talking about systemic well-being.
Yogurt is listed as the gut champion. Now, while the source uses that term, gut champion, we know the underlying mechanism is the presence of active, live cultures, the probiotics.
Absolutely. And the source makes a profound claim that we really need to synthesize. A healthy gut means better digestion, better immunity, and even a better mood.
That's a big claim.
We call it the gut-body triad, and it just underscores the systemic importance of the microbiome. Better digestion through efficient nutrient absorption and transit time, well, that's the obvious part.
Right.
But the impact on immunity and mood requires a deeper look.
Okay, so if we connect this to the bigger picture, the gut houses something called gut-associated lymphoid tissue, or GALT, and it's recognized as the largest immune organ in the body.
It is.
So how does yogurt, a simple food, support such a massive defense system?
By consuming probiotics, you are actively bolstering the beneficial bacterial colonies that live in your gut. These bacteria help maintain the integrity of the intestinal wall, often called the gut barrier.
The gut barrier.
And when this barrier is strong, it prevents undesirable substances like toxins, undigested particles, from leaking into the bloodstream, which is a key driver of systemic inflammation.
So you're preventing leaks, basically.
You're preventing leaks. And by reducing this baseline inflammation, the immune system isn't constantly on high alert. It can respond more effectively when a real threat comes along. That is the essence of better immunity derived from a healthy gut.
And the mood connection, I mean, that is perhaps the most mind-blowing realization for so many people. We've all heard the phrase second brain. Can you elaborate on the chemical connection there?
The gut is called the second brain because it operates semi-independently through the enteric nervous system. But most critically, it produces neurotransmitters.
Like serotonin.
You mentioned serotonin earlier. It's crucial for regulating mood, sleep, appetite. What's stunning is the percentage. Approximately 90% of the body's serotonin is synthesized and stored in the gut.
Wow, 90%. That statistic fundamentally changes how we view food choices.
It has to.
Integrating yogurt isn't just a digestive choice. It's a proactive step toward managing your emotional equilibrium by feeding the biological factory that produces our happy chemical.
Precisely. A diverse and robust microbiome communicates with the brain via the vagus nerve. This is the gut-brain axis. When the gut is happy, that communication signal tends to be positive and stable.
And when it's not?
When the gut is imbalanced or suffering from an overgrowth of undesirable bacteria dysbiosis, that signal can contribute to anxiety and depression.
However, the source includes a really critical caveat, and we have to emphasize this strongly. Choose plain or low-sugar yogurt if possible. Why is eliminating added sugar so non-negotiable for maximizing the true benefits of this gut champion?
It's simple counterproductivity. Added sugar feeds the wrong crowd. Refined sugar tends to favor the growth of pathogenic or undesirable bacteria and yeasts like Candida. So by adding significant amounts of sugar, you are essentially providing fuel to the very organisms you are trying to minimize.
So you're undoing the good work.
You're completely negating the anti-inflammatory and balancing benefits of the probiotics you just consumed. The sugar turns a powerful functional food into a dessert that just disrupts the system.
So if you want the true benefits, you have to strip away the added sweetness.
You have to. Focus on the clean, active cultures. That might mean getting used to a tart flavor and maybe adding natural sweetness, like a few berries, later on.
That distinction is the difference between true internal support and just consuming a sugary snack. Next up, the apple. We hear the old adage constantly, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. But if we analyze the source material, why does this simple food hold such lasting relevance in modern nutritional advice? The sources point to fiber and natural antioxidants.
The apple's lasting power really comes from its simple protective mechanism. It's like an internal maintenance crew.
I like that.
The fiber, particularly the soluble fiber called pectin, serves a dual role. We mentioned how soluble fiber slows energy absorption in oats, but in the gut, pectin acts as a prebiotic.
Wait, okay, let's distinguish between probiotics and prebiotics for the...
They call. Probiotics are the live, beneficial bacteria. Think of them as the settlers, like in yogurt.
Okay.
Prebiotics are the non-digestible fibers that act as food for those settlers.
So probiotics are the new workers, and prebiotics are their lunch.
That's a perfect way to think about it. And pectin in the apple is excellent food for beneficial bacteria, encouraging their growth and their activity. So the apple works synergistically with the yogurt to optimize the gut environment.
That's a really powerful pairing. And the functional benefit articulated is supporting digestion and helping you feel fresh and light.
That sensation of feeling fresh and light is directly related to efficient elimination and reduced internal sluggishness. The fiber ensures transit time is optimal, but the other component is the antioxidants, like quercetin and catechin.
Right, the source says these help combat oxidative stress.
They do.
Let's define oxidative stress. It sounds complex, but I'm guessing the concept is relatively simple.
It is simple. Think of oxidative stress as cellular rust.
Okay, cellular rust.
It's the damage done to your cells, your DNA, proteins, membranes, by unstable molecules called free radicals. And those are just a byproduct of normal metabolism and environmental factors like pollution or stress.
So apples are like rust-proofing for your cells.
Exactly. With their high antioxidant content, they act as molecular defense shields. They neutralize these free radicals, helping to protect the body's fundamental components from damage.
The power of the apple, then, is its complete package. It's supporting internal cleansing through the fiber and prebiotics, while also providing a cellular defense mechanism with its antioxidants. It's truly a functional maintenance tool.
And we cannot overlook the practicality noted by the source. Easy to carry, easy to eat, easy to love.
So true.
When we talk about making small, repeated choices, ease of consumption is paramount. You can't get much simpler or more portable than an apple. Its convenience ensures the healthy choice is also the easiest choice to integrate into a busy life.
Leafy greens, spinach, lettuce, things like that are categorized by the source as real-life boosters. This seems to be based on their sheer nutritional density.
It is. They're packed with vitamins, minerals, and critically, iron.
And this comprehensive nutritional package is the core of their power. But the iron content, that's the direct link to the source's claim of feeling stronger, right?
Absolutely. Iron is an absolutely essential mineral. It's required for the creation of hemoglobin.
And hemoglobin is
the protein in your red blood cells that transports oxygen from your lungs to every single cell, tissue, and organ in your body.
So when the source talks about feeling cleaner, lighter, and stronger, we can connect that feeling directly to optimized oxygenation. If your body is low on iron, you are literally running on reduced oxygen capacity.
And that manifests as debilitating fatigue.
Right.
Exactly. Iron deficiency or anemia is a leading cause of fatigue worldwide. By consuming dense sources like spinach, you are ensuring that your oxygen transport system is fully operational.
And when your cells are properly oxygenated.
And your body has the necessary micronutrients like folate, which is a B vitamin essential for DNA synthesis and nerve function, and magnesium, which is involved in over 300 enzyme reactions, including energy production. The efficiency of every biological process just increases.
That explains the lighter feeling. The body is functioning optimally. It's not struggling against nutrient deficiencies. But let's talk practical application again. We often struggle to consume enough greens. What's the path of least resistance here?
The actionable advice given is perfect. Even adding a little to your meals makes a difference. The concept is nutrient density per calorie.
So you get a big bang for your buck.
A huge bang for your buck. Leafy greens are incredibly dense. You don't need a massive, complicated salad every day. You can throw a handful of spinach into a morning smoothie where the flavor is masked, but the iron and vitamins are fully integrated.
Or stir some kale into a soup.
Or chop kale into a pasta sauce right before serving. Exactly.
It sounds like microdosing your vegetables, just ensuring that consistent, small influx of micronutrients builds up over time.
That's precisely the strategy. Because greens also contain significant amounts of vitamin K, which is essential for bone health, and powerful antioxidants like lutein and zeaxanthin, which support eye health.
You're protecting and strengthening your body from multiple directions.
Yes, all with very little caloric investment. This group of foods is all about making sure your internal machinery is clean, protected, and fully supplied with the necessary structural components. So now we move into the domain that often feels the most intangible to support through diet.
Yeah.
Brain health, mood, and emotional balance.
Yeah.
These next three foods are specifically chosen for their targeted impact on the neurological and chemical systems.
Here's where it gets really interesting for me. We often categorize fats as just energy sources, but the direct line between healthy fats, specific nutrients, and emotional stability. That is the crucial insight for this section. Okay, so fish like salmon or sardines are highlighted because they are rich in omega-3 fats. And our sources explicitly state that these fats support brain health, heart health, and emotional balance. That tripartite benefit is a huge aha moment for anyone listening.
Omega-3 fatty acids, specifically EPA and DHA.
The long-chain ones.
The long-chain ones, yes. They're absolutely foundational. To understand their importance, you have to realize that approximately 60% of the brain is composed of fat.
60%.
60%. And these polyunsaturated fats, particularly DHA, are the primary structural components of your brain cell membranes.
So supporting brain health isn't just about feeding the brain energy. It's about providing the actual flexible building material needed for the structure of the brain cells and for the efficiency of neural communication.
Precisely. They are essential for maintaining the fluidity and integrity of the cell membrane. Think of this cell membrane as a protective skin that is also porous. It allows chemical messengers, neurotransmitters, to pass in and out and bind to receptors.
Okay.
If the membrane is stiff or rigid, say, due to unhealthy saturated fats, the receptors don't function properly.
It gets stuck.
They get stuck.
Yeah.
But if the membrane is rich in flexible omega-3s, the receptors are more accessible and nerve signals travel more effectively. This structural support translates into better cognitive function, better memory recall, and sustained focus.
The heart health connection is pretty broadly understood. Omega-3s reduce inflammation and support cardiovascular function. But let's dive deeper into that emotional balance claim. How does this molecular flexibility support mood regulation?
That flexibility is absolutely key for neurotransmitter function. Serotonin and dopamine receptors, the chemical messengers that regulate happiness, motivation, and reward, they reside in these membranes.
So they live in that flexible wall.
They do. And when the membranes are fluid, the receptors function efficiently, which improves the signaling pathways that are crucial for mood regulation. Studies consistently correlate low levels of these essential fats with a higher incidence of clinical depression and anxiety.
So by ensuring you have enough, you're essentially providing the essential structural material the brain needs to manage its complex emotional chemistry efficiently.
You are.
This sounds like an accumulative benefit, though, not an instant fix. The source confirms this by saying, if you eat fish a few times a week, your body feels the benefit over time. Why is that consistency so vital?
Because you are literally rebuilding and restructuring your cellular architecture. It takes time for the fats you consume to be incorporated into the cell membranes throughout your brain and your body.
So this is not a quick energy boost like a banana.
Not at all. This is a foundational structural repair project. You won't notice a change after one meal, but over weeks and months, that commitment to consistent intake leads to noticeable differences in sustained cognitive performance and emotional resilience.
And the sources suggest focusing on fatty sources like salmon or sardines
to ensure you get a highly bioavailable and potent dose of EPA and DHA, yes.
And focusing on the smaller, oilier fish like sardines is also a smart choice because it generally reduces the worry about environmental contaminants that sometimes plague larger, longer-lived fish.
That's right. It's a double win for anyone seeking efficiency and clean fuel. Nuts offer a similar profile, rich in healthy fats and protein, but they serve a powerful dual function, supporting brain health and helping reduce hunger.
They are the definition of an optimized portable snack.
They really are.
They're such energy-dense packages. The combination of healthy fats, protein, and fiber provides phenomenal satiety. It stabilizes the energy flow in a way that's similar to eggs and oats, but in an incredibly convenient format.
And the mechanism of satiety is fascinating. When you consume fat and protein, it triggers the release of cholecystokinin, or CCK.
CCK.
It's a hormone that signals fullness to the brain and slows the emptying of the stomach. That immediate reduction in physiological hunger pangs is a powerful functional benefit.
Because if you eliminate the metabolic distraction of constant hunger, you free up tremendous cognitive resources to focus on your primary tasks.
You do. And the brain health support isn't uniform across all nuts, is it? We need to get specific about the examples provided: almonds, peanuts, and walnuts.
That's a key distinction. Walnuts are unique because they are one of the best plant-based sources of the omega-3 ALA, or alpha-linolenic acid.
Right, and while ALA has to be converted in the body into the more potent EPA and DHA, walnuts still provide powerful anti-inflammatory and structural support, particularly for the brain's cellular function.
Okay, and almonds.
Almonds, on the other hand, are fantastic sources of vitamin E.
Why is vitamin E so important for the brain?
Vitamin E is a powerful, fat-soluble antioxidant, and since the brain is 60% fat, it is particularly vulnerable to oxidative stress, or cellular rust.
Ah, the rust again.
Vitamin E acts as a crucial shield. It protects the delicate fatty acids in the cell membranes from degradation. A small handful of almonds provides significant protection against the cellular wear and tear associated with aging and stress.
And peanuts?
Peanuts, while they're technically legumes, they offer a solid punch of protein and niacin, B3, which is essential for brain energy metabolism.
But we absolutely must heed the crucial instruction from the source here. Just remember, small portions are enough. Given their nutritional density, why is that caution so necessary?
It's purely a matter of energy concentration. While the fats in nuts are healthy, they are highly concentrated in calories.
So a little goes a long way.
A very long way. A true small portion around a quarter cup, or what fits loosely in your palm, delivers all the satiety and nutrient maximization you need. If you consume a massive bag while you're distracted, you can quickly hit the caloric intake of a full meal without registering the fullness.
Which completely defeats the purpose of managing energy and body composition.
It does. It's all about optimizing the snack. You get the healthy fats, the protein, the fiber, the neuroprotection, all contained in that convenient, strategically portioned format.
I have to admit, seeing dark chocolate on the list is always a pleasant surprise. The source suggests it can boost mood and support brain function. This feels like the most conditional of our 10 items, though. A true indulgence disguised as medicine.
It is entirely conditional. We really need to scrutinize those strict requirements. The benefit is explicitly linked to 3 non-negotiables. Small amounts, high cocoa content, and we'd recommend 70% cocoa or higher, and consuming it mindfully.
So if you violate any of those rules...
The benefit flips to a negative.
Okay, so what's the specific mechanism behind the mood boost and cognitive support? We can't just say it's because it tastes good.
No, we can't. The power resides in the cocoa itself, which is rich in a class of compounds called flavonoids, or polyphenols.
Flavonoids.
These are potent antioxidants, even more concentrated than in many fruits. And the key mechanism of action is related to blood flow. Flavonoids have been shown to be strong vasodilators.
Vasodilators, meaning they widen blood vessels.
Exactly. They promote the production of nitric oxide, which signals the blood vessels to relax and open up. This leads to improved blood flow and, crucially, improved cerebral blood flow, better circulation to the brain.
So more blood to the brain.
Which means better oxygen and nutrient delivery to the neurons. And that translates directly into improved focus, alertness, and quicker processing speed.
So the improved focus isn't just psychological. The structural improvement in circulation is a tangible physiological benefit supporting brain function.
Absolutely. And furthermore, high cocoa content chocolate contains natural compounds like theobromine, which is a mild stimulant related to caffeine. It provides a gentle, sustained alertness without the jitteriness you often get from a coffee crash.
And the mood boost.
And yes, it does stimulate the release of endorphins, so there is a legitimate physiological mood lift tied to the enjoyment of the flavor.
But the mindful consumption aspect is critical here. If you mindlessly eat a huge portion, the sugar and calories just overwhelm the positive circulatory effect.
And you'll likely feel sluggish and guilty. The true value comes from a small, intensely flavored piece, enjoyed slowly, maximizing the sensory and circulatory benefits without the metabolic drawbacks of overindulgence.
So it's a strategic choice to stimulate focus during an afternoon slump.
Provided you stick to the high-quality, high-cocoa rule. It's a powerful tool, but it requires discipline.
We've covered foundational energy, internal well-being, and cognitive support. Our final food, the 10th staple, seems to bring together these diverse concepts. It offers a package of comfort combined with high nutritional value for lasting body and mood support.
Sweet potatoes are the perfect capstone to this list. The source describes them as both comforting and powerful, and rich in fiber, vitamins, and slow-burning carbs.
The ideal whole food fuel for sustained endurance.
Whether you're running a marathon or sitting through a 6-hour editing session, yes.
Let's elaborate on that concept of slow-burning carbs providing energy without making you feel heavy. This directly contrasts with the lethargy we often associate with denser starches like white potatoes or white rice.
The slow-burning property is thanks to a few factors. First, they have a substantial fiber content, very similar to oats, ensuring that energy is metabolized gradually.
And second?
Second, they contain a higher proportion of complex carbohydrates, and depending on how they are cooked, something called resistant starch. This combination prevents the rapid spike and crash cycle.
And if the blood sugar isn't spiking, the body doesn't trigger that massive insulin release, which is what often leads to post-meal lethargy, the dreaded food coma.
Precisely. The reason you don't feel heavy is twofold. Stable blood sugar prevents the post-spike energy crash, and sweet potatoes are nutritionally dense while being relatively low on the glycemic index compared to simple starches.
So you feel fully satisfied, comforted, without the bloated feeling that often comes from less fibrous processed starches.
Exactly.
And the source highlights the dual benefit, great for both body and mood. Where does the mood benefit come from, beyond just the stable energy?
The body benefits massively from the incredibly high levels of beta-carotene, which is the precursor to vitamin A.
Ah, that's why they're orange.
That's why they're orange.
Mm.
And vitamin A is crucial for vision, immune function, and cell growth. So that aligns them functionally with the leafy greens we discussed earlier in terms of vitamin density.
Sure.
They also contain significant vitamin C and B vitamins. The mood benefit, much like with oats, comes directly from that steady, reliable supply of glucose to the brain, maintaining neurological equilibrium.
When the brain has a guaranteed, consistent fuel source, the mood just remains balanced and focused.
It does. And there's also the psychological benefit to comfort food. If you can choose a naturally sweet, satisfying whole food that is also packed with fiber and vitamins, you satisfy that desire for warmth and satiety while still supporting peak physical and mental performance.
It's a powerful substitution strategy.
It's a high-performance food disguised as comfort food. They really synthesize the best elements of the entire list: stable energy delivery, high fiber for digestion, and dense vitamins for systemic support and immune fortification. Sweet potatoes are an anchor food for lasting vitality.
That brings us to the close of our deep dive. We have reviewed 10 incredibly simple common foods, from the stability of eggs and the structural support of omega-3s in fish, to the circulatory boost of dark chocolate that quietly boosts your life across energy, mood, and focus.
And the core insight here, as we mentioned at the start, is empowerment through specific functional knowledge. You do not need radical change. Our analysis showed that the power lies in understanding the precise functional benefit of each food.
The role of soluble fiber,
The impact of potassium, the function of DHA on cell membranes, and then integrating just one or two choices consistently.
we broke these down functionally. The staples for steady energy, the cleansers for gut health, and the targeted foods for your mind and mood. This gives you a truly practical roadmap.
Right.
It allows you to choose the food that specifically matches the performance benefit you seek this week. Are you battling the 3 p.m. slump? Grab a banana or a handful of nuts. Need better focus for a demanding project? Start the day with eggs or oats.
And this curated knowledge provides tremendous value. It simplifies the often overwhelming field of nutrition into practical, actionable steps built on small, repeated choices made daily. Remember, whether it's potassium ensuring your muscles fire efficiently or omega-3s rebuilding your brain architecture, your functional health and overall vitality are fundamentally built one meal at a time.
So, as you reflect on this deep dive, we want to leave you with one final provocative thought to explore on your own.
Since these 10 foods target specific functional areas, cognition, gut health, endurance, or energy stability, we encourage you to step back and identify the one functional area you want to improve this week.
Just one.
Just one. Instead of attempting a sweeping dietary overhaul, commit to integrating just one corresponding food into your daily routine with total consistency.
So if you want better emotional resilience,
Commit to a small portion of high cocoa chocolate or a fish meal. Don't aim for perfection across the board. Aim for absolute, focused consistency in one small choice. That is how you translate this knowledge into lasting, noticeable vitality.